This is as good as it gets.
What? Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
The reality.
This is it. This is it. This is it.
That's all you got.
If you've got a headache, this is it. This is as good as it gets. But the attitude and the dialogue, I don't like this, that's where the suffering is. The I that doesn't like it, that's the sufferer.
Okay, let's say you don't have a headache, but still you're thinking about tomorrow. But this is really, really key, because you're talking about what generates this thought of
Yes, that's right.
Basically, any thought about tomorrow is kind of like basically a thought that says, let me out of here,
Yes.
Get me out of this place.
Totally. I don't want this.
I mean, what generates that is, because we were talking in some shows about, like, okay, there's a sensation in the body. And then we label it. We say, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel frustrated. I'm a little antsy.
And it shouldn't be this way.
Well, either that way or not. But I mean, the fact that we even said we're frustrated is just already a fantasy.
Yes.
Because it's just kind of like some cramps or something going on, or some energy flowing or some...
If you're feeling it, it's real, no?
Yeah.
If you're feeling it, it's real. If you're angry, you're angry. It's real. It's the you that the problem is. Anger is fine. Frustration is fine. Pain is fine. But it's the one who is suffering it. That's where it is. You can keep changing the subject matter. Nothing will shift.
I kind of have a like for looking underneath and seeing, digging around, digging at the root of things, because it's kind of like inquiry, who am I? But it could be also inquiring, what is emotion, or something like that. And somebody was sharing yesterday, and somebody asked about, what do you do when there's big emotion? How do you stay aware? And he says, well, you don't, because, I mean, when you're all lost in your emotion, you're all into that. And so then you don't. Yeah. And I kind of wanted him to say that you can look into the nature of emotion. Because for me, emotion is about having a dream or a belief. And I illustrate it like, okay, let's say I believe in justice and somebody does something unjust. Then I have a big emotion and I might get lost in that emotion. But then that's my belief in it's hard to say that, especially with Mumbai just being terrorists and all that stuff. So then maybe I'll jump to an easier one. Like I might believe in loyalty. And then I see my wife is looking around with other men going out to dinner and stuff. And then I have a big emotion, and I thought, well, it's my dream. See, my dream is that, we're a couple. So that means something, and that you are only supposed to look at me. And then loyalty, I believe in it, And so then what I'm trying to say is look at the source of things that are happening in your body and your
and it's a simple one
in your individuality.
Because every emotion starts with a thought. So if you're into peeling back something to go into the root, for sure nothing will change unless you're going to go to the root of what gave rise to this feeling.
Wait a second. Does a thought actually make every kind of like feeling in your body?
Every emotion?
Well, emotion
is birthed from a thought.
But emotion is more than a feeling, or I mean like a feeling, a sensation. That's what I want to say. Okay, first I was almost saying that first there's a sensation and then a thought comes. But maybe it's first there's a thought and then a sensation comes, and then we call that sensation some kind of an emotion.
Yes. It starts with thought.
Oh, yeah?
Even the most subtle, it starts with thought.
That's a really good knowledge.
Yeah,
really good awareness to see that.
Even because, I think the most powerful emotion is grief. If a member of your family dies unexpectedly, and the worst grief, I think, is to bury your child. I think it's the most painful thing on the planet. It's not natural to bury our children, but people do all the time. So when serious grief like that comes, the grief comes with the thought that I'm going to die before my child. Even if it's never been a conscious thought, it's a thought. I will go before them, because that's the sequence. That's how Mother Earth planned it. Not so. It can happen any which way. Do you know? So that's one thought. Another.
Yeah, that's a belief, right?
Yeah, it's a belief. You see? So the thing is, like, your child is not their body. There is a child that's in the physical body. The physical body is gone, but where's your child? Your child was never separate from what you are anyway. Do you know? So people.
Guru used to tell that story, like someone came and asked for a blessing, and this old yogi said, okay, and he begged for a blessing. He paid him a lot of money. He says, okay, I'll bless you. May your father die first. and you die second, and your child die last. And the guy said, what kind of blessing is that?
Yes.
I paid you money for that kind of a blessing?
Yes. Yes.
Just
yes.
what you said.
Yes.
That's the greatest blessing.
Yes, it is. It is, because that's the sequence that's comfortable for our conditioning. But without those thoughts, grief would not happen. It's the most amazing thing. And okay, if it happened to somebody who was gone beyond thought, grief passes through, but there's no sense that I'm grieving. Grief passes through, anger passes through, but there's no, I'm angry, I want this. That ownership goes. And so every emotion passes through without being noted, without being named. So there's no preference for joy over grief. There's nothing that names them as good and bad. That's the freedom. That's freedom.